What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 2 Thursday Night Football. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. Okay, in this video, I'm going to give you my top picks for the Thursday Night Football Showdown between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, let's take a look at this Week 2 Thursday Night Football Showdown between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. So at the quarterback position, I'm going to go with Joe Burrow from the Cincinnati Bengals playing the Cleveland Browns, who have the third worst defense overall, and they give up the third most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. Joe Burrow, he scored 17.3 fantasy points in Week 1. He was on the field for 100% of the snaps. He got 8 rush attempts, so I like to see that rushing upside. He's projected at 16.5 fantasy points here tonight, but I think that he can score 20 plus fantasy points here versus this bad Cleveland Browns defense. Vegas thinks there's going to be 43 points scored in this game, and they have the Cincinnati Bengals trailing by 6. So that's another reason that I like this pick, is because Joe Burrow should be playing from behind, forced to pass the ball. So it's a nice game script here, a nice matchup. So I like Joe Burrow here versus the Cleveland Browns. Okay, let's take a look at the running back position. So if you've got money to pay out for Joe Mixon or Nick Chubb, those are great plays, but I'm going to save a little bit of salary here and go with Kareem Hunt from the Cleveland Browns playing the Cincinnati Bengals, who have a good defense overall, and they're middle of the pack defending opposing running backs. Kareem Hunt scored 12.1 fantasy points in Week 1 off of 6 pass targets and 13 rush attempts. So the reason I like Kareem Hunt is because he gets those pass targets, and he got more rush attempts last week than did Nick Chubb. Now I think that might change here in Week 2, and Nick Chubb is a fine play. Both of these guys I think have the similar upside, but I like the passing game or the passing targets to Kareem Hunt. He was on the field for 49% of the snaps last week, and Nick Chubb was on the field for 48% of the snaps. But the difference is Kareem Hunt touched the ball 53% of that time that he was on the field, and Nick Chubb only touched the ball 31% of the time that he was on the field. He's projected at 13.8 fantasy points here in Week 2, and the Cleveland Browns are favored by 6 in this game. So I like Kareem Hunt here versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Now thinking about this just a little more, here on DraftKings, Nick Chubb is actually only 200 salary more. So in this case on DraftKings, I may actually prefer Nick Chubb over Kareem Hunt just because the Cleveland Browns are favored by 6. Nick Chubb could get more rush attempts later in the game trying to run out the clock. If the Cleveland Browns were projected to be trailing, I would like Kareem Hunt a little bit more because of the pass targets, but both these guys are fine plays. I think it's a toss-up between who's going to get more work or who's going to score the touchdown. So I do like Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Pick one of those guys. So I like both those guys here tonight. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all the tools for NFL, MLB is still going, NBA is right around the corner. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, moving on to the wide receiver position. So I like AJ Green, but I'm going to save some salary here with Tyler Boyd from the Cincinnati Bengals playing the Cleveland Browns, who have the third worst defense overall, and they give up the 11th most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. Tyler Boyd scored 7.3 fantasy points in week 1. He got 5 pass targets, where AJ Green got 9 pass targets and scored 10 fantasy points. But you're going to save some salary with Tyler Boyd. He was on the field for 81% of the snaps versus AJ Green only on the field for 66% of the snaps. Although AJ Green did touch the ball 20% of the time when he was on the field, and Tyler Boyd only 9% of the time. But I like Tyler Boyd here. He's projected at 12.8 fantasy points here in week 2. The Cincinnati Bengals projected to be trailing in this game, so I think he makes a nice stack with Joe Burrow. So I like Tyler Boyd here versus the Cleveland Browns. Okay, who do we have at the tight end position? I like Austin Hooper from the Cleveland Browns playing the Cincinnati Bengals, who have a good defense overall, and they give up the 12th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. Austin Hooper, he only scored 3.5 fantasy points in week 1 off of 2 pass targets, but he was on the field for 77% of the snaps. He's projected at 8.9 fantasy points here in week 2. I think they throw the ball his way more often here in week 2. I think he gets more towards 5 to 8 pass targets. He's a little more expensive than CJ Uzomah here on DraftKings. So if you need the salary savings, you can go ahead and play CJ Uzomah. He's got the better matchup on paper, where the Cleveland Browns are giving up the second most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. So he's not a bad play. These are pretty much your only 2 tight end plays here. The rest of the guys are min salary, not really involved in the offense. But I like Austin Hooper here versus the Cincinnati Bengals. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.